guys. Good evening to all. This evening, I'm at Charles St. Thomas, which is just outside of St. Thomas Parish Church. Which is the Arch Hall in St. Thomas, and I'm on Highway 2A, which is best referred to as the Ronald Mapp Highway. Yes, so this is St. Thomas Parish Church here at Arch Hall, St. Thomas. St. Thomas Parish Church is at Arch Hall, St. Thomas, which is situated along Highway 2A. So yes, guys, this part of Highway, this part of St. Thomas is close to the parish of St. James. Okay, this part of St. Thomas is in close proximity to St. James, which is to the west of the island. So Highway 2A can best be referred to as the Ronald Mapp Highway, which was named after Sir Ronald Mapp, a member of Parliament. And this highway this road was refurbished and changed into a highway sometime in the 90s. It was in the 90s when they refurbished this road. Refurbished the whole of Highway 2A, started from the Warrens area all the way up to mile and a quarter in St. Peter. And they cut down all the canes once upon a time. Here was just a lonely deserted road with cane ground and no houses. And then in the 90s they cut down all the cane and refurbished it and rebuilt it into a highway. St. Thomas Parish Church is an Anglican church situated at Arch Hall, St. Thomas, along Highway 2A. I have lots of family that attend church here, and some of them are also buried here as well. St. Thomas Parish Church. And opposite St. Thomas Parish Church is the St. Thomas substation for the Barbados Light and Power, which is our only source of electricity here in Barbados. The Barbados Light and Power have a substation opposite St. Thomas Church, and outside of St. Thomas Church, just above here, just above me, would be the largest roundabout on the island, which is the Lawrence Johnson roundabout. It can be referred as an oblong about, and the left turn at the roundabout will take you back to Whole Town, which is in St. James, which is the first settlement here in Barbados. It was where the English settled in 1627 when they landed from England, and they will lead you back to St. James. This is on the west coast of the island, and straight ahead will take you back to St. James, St. Peter and St. Lucy, which is to the north of the island. A bit of St. James with Orange Hill, Lancaster, Sion Hill and so on, and Westmoreland. And back to St. Lucy and St. Peter, which is to the north of the island, along with Portvale Sugar Factory, which is in St. James, along Highway 2A, just 1 minute away from St. Thomas Parish Church. And the right turn will take you back to Rock Hall, which was the first freedom village in Barbados in St. Thomas, and back to the east of the island, and back to Harrison's Cave and Western Hall Village. And this way will take you back to Warrens and Bagatelle and Corsules and the Arch Hall Fire Station, and back to the ABC Highway and a bit of Highway 2A as well. Yes, guys, all here used to be cane ground years ago, long before it was the highway. So the highway only started in the 80s out here. The Ronald Mapp Highway is separate from the ABC Highway. The Ronald Mapp Highway started construction in the 90s. In the early 90s and was completed by 1996. So this is Charles St. Thomas, just outside of St. Thomas Parish Church. So this can be a secondary route to the north of the island, instead of having to go on the West Coast Road in St. James down Old Town and Spikestown. You can use this road. This will take you to the north faster than the West Coast Road. So many people headed to the north of the island, whether it's St. Lucie, St. Peter, or even St. James, use this road to get there faster. And it's a very busy road as well, because it is a highway. So this part of St. Thomas is a very busy thoroughfare as well. As I said before, another artery, I should say, leading to the north of the island, and it is the people's choice because it is less traffic than on the West Coast Road. So lots of people like to use this road to get to the north of the island or even to the west of the island. Yeah, let's go to St. Thomas Parish Church.
Get me up with you, man.
Let's go to St. Thomas Parish Church and the church cemetery. As I said before, I have lots of family interred in this churchyard. Lots of family have in this parish on the whole. So we are close to the first Freedom Village, which is east of St. Thomas Church when you make the right turn at the roundabout. That will be Rock Hall Freedom Village, the first Freedom Village in Barbados, where the slaves landed after slavery. And the left turn will take you back down to Seaview, Lascelles Hill and Old Town. Old Town was the first settlement in Barbados. Old Town is in the parish of St. James, which is to the western end of the island. And Old Town was where they set up the first church, St. James Parish Church, which was established in 1629. So St. James Parish Church is the first church. And again, straight ahead will take you back to the north of the island via the Portvale Sugar Factory, which is the only working factory here in Barbados. And it will take you back to St. Lucie and St. Peter, which is to the north of the island, and a bit of St. James as well, with Westmoreland, Lancaster, Sion Hill, Upper Carrollton, Orange Hill, and so on. This is St. Thomas Parish Church, Anglican Church, which was established in 1836. So years ago, all here was surrounded with cane. Before this was a highway. All here where this pavement is that I'm standing on now was cane, and there's a narrow road with no house. There still is no house in this area, but it is not as it used to be before. It is a road well traveled now because it is a highway. So it's well traveled, less than how it was, more than how it was before. And the roundabout only got placed here in the 90s, late 90s, in 1996, when the opening ceremony for the renaming of Highway 2 years to the Ronald Mapp Highway. It took place right at the roundabout. And the plaque was unveiled by Sir Lady Mapp, who was unveiled by Lady Mapp, who was Sir Ronald Mapp's wife. The plaque at the roundabout was unveiled by Lady Mapp, who was Sir Ronald Mapp's wife. So St. Thomas Parish Church, and you walk right to the church. As I said before, this is a very busy thoroughfare now because it is a highway. This road here again will lead back to the Warrens area, the Warrens business and commercial area, which is one of the city away from the city. It will take you back to Bagatelle, St. Thomas, Costules, Redmond's Village, Welch's, and back to the dump at Mangrove Landfill, and back to the new fire station at Charles St. Thomas, which was opened officially in 2001, one of the longest fire stations here in Barbados. Let's go to St. Thomas Parish Church again. So there are two Anglican churches here in St. Thomas. They have St. Thomas Parish Church here, and they have Holy Innocents this is further east, closest to Harrison's Cave. So this can be a secondary route to Harrison's Cave as well. But not much people use this route to get to Harrison's Cave. More people come up the Westmore Hall route and come up. But this can also be a secondary route to Harrison's Cave, which is also in the parish of St. Thomas. St. Thomas Parish Church. They had a funeral here this evening, and you can see the church cemetery here as well. Thank you guys for watching now, and have a blessed evening.